A sunny Wanderers Football Park welcomes Melbourne City and their ambitions to climb back to the top of the Liberty A-League. For Western Sydney Wanderers, an unwanted milestone stares them squarely in the face. Tomorrow marks 1 year since they last won a game in this competition. They will be desperate not to bring up that very unwanted birthday. A healthy crowd has made its way in to the Wanderers training facility, which also doubles as their matchday venue in both the Liberty A-League and the men's NPL. And it's good to see that there are plenty of away fans for Melbourne City also making their way in. So let's take a look at how the teams line up for this one. Western City make 2 changes to the starting 11. New signing Serena Bolden is joined by Olivia Price, who is restored to the starters. Sophie Harding goes to the bench. Melissa Caceres is back from injury, and Sienna Silvesca would be in line to make her Liberty A-League debut. If we see her today, Yitka Chlastikova, Holly Caspers and Kush LaRue are all omitted. Melbourne City also have a pair of changes. Sally James is back in goal with Melissa Barbieri moving to the bench. Rihanna Policina is starting and in the captain's armband to boot. Amina Ekic injured and ending her loan at Melbourne City after a broken leg against Perth Glory. She returns to the United States, while Emma Checker is back from injury amongst the subs. Out come both teams. Wanderers in their home red and black, and Melbourne City get to wear their home kit as well, which is the City Blue. They won 2-0 at this venue in the final round of the home and away season last campaign, so not that long between visits. Kat Smith is the coach in charge. Would you believe it is now a 15-game winless run for Western Sydney Wanderers? 2 draws, 13 losses in that time. Smith has only been in charge for 6 of them, but she's still waiting for her first win as the coach. But it's Western Sydney to kick off, attacking the right of your screens, and Sheridan Gallagher fresh off, scoring for the first time in this league. We'll get the game underway. Liv Price, the other player restored to the starting 11 today, is going to have quite the midfield battle up against a couple of Sydney-siders in Rihanna Policina, a former Wanderers player, and also Daniela Galich in there for Melbourne City. So Melbourne City need to win to go back to the top. Western Sydney Wanderers just need to win. Let's see where this game takes us on a warm afternoon in Sydney's West, as it's a back pass all the way to Jordan Bloomer, the American goalkeeper, and then a little bit ponderous from Lauren Kier, that is able to bring Malia Steinmetz into play. And Wanderers get out of a little bit of early danger, and Olivia Price is composed on the ball, but running out of space against the touchline. We saw a goal after just 19 seconds in the game between Newcastle and Sydney FC yesterday, and Melbourne City, with that potentially risky pass out of defence, were almost in similar quick time, but Western Sydney, fortunately for them, did not suffer a similar blow. However, you can see the pressing here of Hannah Wilkinson. Really wants to put the heat on Jordan Bloomer, who's able to scramble clear. Caitlin Torpy, only as far as Malia Steinmetz. Steinmetz trying to switch. Daniela Galich got a foot on the ball, but Alexia Apostolakis is there. A couple of fantastic young talents, both only 16 years old. And here is Apostolakis now, trying to exploit some space on the right. Naomi Chinema with an intercept. And Melbourne City consolidate. Here's Rihanna Policina rolling past Bethany Gordon and feeding the ball through the left. Galich going for a run. Claire Hunt comes across, has the angles covered. Back to Jordan Bloomer. A little bit windy today. Brought down out of the sky by Liv Price. And here's Serena Bolden, the Philippine international. First look at her on the ball, but the pass attempting to feed her through the right is not able to find its mark, and instead it's out for a throw. Gallagher looks up at a crowded midfield, and that was a pass very high in ambition. Serena Bolden not on the same wavelength. Of course, adjusting to a new teammate is going to be important for Western Sydney Wanderers as well. This season they have started players like Holly Caspers and Kush LaRue in their front 3, but neither have even made the bench today. So here's another reshuffle from this team that is still trying to work out what their best 11 is. Henry starting inside the defensive half. Ran into trouble in the form of May Toss, and the ball is volunteered to Price. Forcefully hit. Torpy brings it down. Now Galich in space. Tries to step around Harrison and keeps the ball moving, but straight to Keir. Foul given by the referee. Here's another look at how Daniela Galich was able to step through midfield. Harrison had 2 or 3 nibbles there at the left leg. Can't really argue with the foul being given. McKenna back in. So 15 minutes ticked over and scoreless at this point of the game. Just the one shot from Hannah Wilkinson. Western Sydney yet to fire a shot in anger, and possession has bounced right back out. Here's an errant pass, though, that could open the door for Bolden. Now Olivia Price has stolen a march. A question of the finish from Price. And with the goal at her mercy, it bends wide left. What a chance for Liv Price to open the scoring. And after Western Sydney Wanderers had looked shaky in their back third, it was Melbourne City that offered them a golden chance from an errant pass. Price is in at this point, and, well, you got to credit the dive there from Katie Bowen. Maybe just coming out of the corner of the eye was enough to force Price to bend it that little bit wider and miss the target in the end. Bowen just hung it out in front there, and Bethany Gordon said, thank you, I'll take that. Here's Sheridan Gallagher, who's ahead of the ball for Wanderers. Crosses it beyond Price. Here's Steinmetz. Still Malia Steinmetz. And even though the eyes lit up, the shot caught the wind and was nowhere near the target. Yeah, Steinmetz with a grimace, you'd have to say, at how high and wide that ended up flying. Yet to score in the A-League Women's, Malia Steinmetz. Serena Bolden wanted to be played in. You can see her shouting for the pass there at the edge of the area. McKenna looking to roam into the box. McKenna squaring it. Polisina knocked away. Big block tackle coming on Davidson. And who got the last touch here as the ball rolls out? The referee might bring it back for the foul here, I suspect. Yep. Leah Davidson got a body check. And Western Sydney Wanderers aren't happy that they've conceded a free kick. And with the wind at their backs, this is absolutely shooting range. Well, even if it wasn't at their backs, but yeah, this is very much within range of goal. Rihanna Polisina, we know that she can score from direct free kicks. We know that she can put it on a teammate's head. Here's another look. Davidson got to the ball. Bethany Gordon, yeah, came through with a barge. Rihanna Polisina standing solo over this free kick. Jordan Bloomer on the line. Is this the Western Sydney locals' moment to come back and haunt her former club once again? Polisina over the free kick, striking on goal and putting it just high. Went for power rather than placement. Jordan Bloomer was right there underneath it. Perhaps was hoping for a bit of unexpected bend or spinning the wrong way on the ball there. That one was just hit true and hit over. Here's another look at the free kick. Polisina just going for the line drive there, and rather than wobble the ball in the air, you could see it was just spinning on a nice true trajectory. Steinmetz. Apostolakis. Aggressive pass, but Steinmetz couldn't control it. Gallagher wins the ball defending from the front. Wanderers might still be on here. Bolden to Bethany Gordon. Through the right, here's Gallagher. Brings the ball under control, but the defender gets goal side in Blissett. Gallagher goes for glory with a bender! Are you kidding me? Sheridan Gallagher! Goals in consecutive games for Gallagher, and a combination of deflection and the wind has allowed Gallagher to put it in the net. And Western Sydney Wanderers, almost a year to the day since they last won a game in the Liberty A-League, they have something to play for in this one. They have the lead. And Sheridan Gallagher, who was able to control the ball initially, Chelsea Blissett was right there with her, catches the deflection, catches the win. Look at the swerve on that. And Sally James left with no chance on the goal line. Well, it's a replica of what Sheridan Gallagher did at the Under-20 World Cup in Costa Rica. The selfie using the ball. Some people have got good memories there, not least a number of the teammates that didn't actually go to that World Cup. Gallagher very much leading the line. Melbourne City, what changes do they think about, if any, at halftime too? An equaliser had certainly changed the tone of the team talk that's coming. McKenna just caught a step behind Matos here, and Matos is able to protect the ball out. City's bench includes the American versatile defender midfielder Julia Grosso, centre-back Emma Checker, Carly Rossback, and primarily a defender, and Caitlin Carriage, the young forward. And those questions will be spinning around the head of the City Brains Trust at half-time, because right now Western Sydney Wanderers are on track to win for the first time in almost a year and to pull off what would be, to date, the upset of the season. At half-time, it's Western Sydney Wanderers 1, Melbourne City 0. And with the second half about to kick off, there's been some breaking news during halftime. Joey Lynch, the journalist, announcing that Angie Beard, the fringe Matilda, will be joining Western United for the remainder of the season, coming back from her club Fortuna Horing in Denmark. So the Liberty A-League adds another Matilda. Angie Beard will play for Western United. That is big breaking news. And these players, particularly the Melbourne City ones, will leave the pitch and find that out, that one of their rivals for the Premier's plate, and now you'd have to say the championship, is reinforcing with a player that is an established star at this level, having previously captained Melbourne Victory. Anyway, the second half is afoot, and Sheridan Gallagher, the goal scorer, is doing what Sheridan Gallagher does and fouling Rihanna Policina here. Will there be the first card of the game to accompany it, though? Policina is down and hurt. And as much as we can praise the attacking work of Gallagher on scoring the goal, this is the less appetising side of her game. So many fouls. Often a card is yet to be sent off in the Liberty A-League, and that is just classic crunching Sheridan Gallagher sort of play. The referee decides against showing a card, and Rihanna Policina gets up sore. Chinema caught in possession. Bolden really causing havoc. Serena Bolden! Over the bar, and that would have been absolutely the moment that Serena Bolden was dreaming of on her A-League women's debut. And the Philippines national team, all the Pinay fans around the world, that would have gone viral and then some. Dario Vidicic watching on, knowing his team was a whisker away from going 2-0 down, and that would have been the halftime team talk out the window as well. Shallow back pass, Gallagher. Could this be Sheridan Gallagher's day? Bolden's unmarked in the middle. Here it is, Serena Bolden, not quite. The pass just squirmed long. Sally James was out off the line and reached out the right arm to rake the ball in the nick of time. Well, that perhaps should have been Wanderers 2-0 up. Gallagher squaring it for Bolden. James prevailed. In front of Amy Harrison. Now it's bending back in and threatening. And Sally James has to collapse onto the ball. Melbourne City trying to break out. Gowich is on a card and commits the foul here on Apostolakis. Is quick to apologise. And just gets a wagging of the finger from Lara Lee, the referee. I'm not suggesting it was a yellow card challenge, but it's certainly going to perhaps creep into the back of Gowich's memory every time there's a 50-50 ball out there to be won. So the free kick is placed. Amy Harrison. The wind is picked right back up. And it's favouring the end that the Wanderers are attacking. It's going to drop to Bolden, who was unmarked. Couldn't keep the header down, but it was a totally open header. Wanderers are racking up the chances here in the first 10 minutes of the second half, and Serena Bolden has been central to all of it. And that, well, for an international striker, I know that sometimes we can be hard markers in this league, but that is a totally open header of a centre forward. Perhaps should have been 2-0. Confirmation that the sub has gone through. Get to really see Julia Grosso on the ball in this half. Here's Price loading up a shot! Olivia Price! Wanderers might be on track for something special now, because it's a special goal from Liv Price. There is a good feeling at Wonderland at the moment. It is just a 4th Liberty A-League goal for Olivia Price in game number 84. They are rarities, but this was worth the wait. Price unleashing on the right foot. And after a glorious chance to score in the first half, Price has put it in the net here in the second. Kat Smith was interim coach of Melbourne Victory on January 3, 2016, when Dave Edmondson was away getting married. Kat Smith masterminded a 1-0 win for the Wooden Spoon team against the Newcastle Jets. She's been waiting almost 7 years to win a game as an A-League women's head coach, and now holds a 2-0 lead. Serena Bolden pressing. How many minutes in those legs? She has run herself into the ground in this second half. You can hear Kat Smith now coming through the effects microphone. The verbal battle on the sidelines is starting to swing too. Blissett gives the ball away. Bethany Gordon wanted a runner. Gallagher, the pass goes behind. Bowen clips the ball out to the right. Ball goes out for a throw. There's Dario Vidizic. He's seated at the moment. Melissa Barbieri is the one shouting from the Melbourne City sideline. The second goalkeeper. Matos. Once, twice, volleying away. Gallagher is going to make a run here. Sally James apprehensive and then just gets barged over by Gallagher, and that is a needless collision. It's going to be a yellow card, and rightly so. And those two were teammates in the Under-20 World Cup, but no love lost on that occasion. Gallagher booked for that, and now we'll have to walk the tightrope on a yellow card. Policina twisting and turning. It's been a little subdued ever since getting crunched in the first minute of the second half, but now re-engaging perhaps with the game as Matos comes across to defend Henry. Here's another look at the yellow. Sally James, the ball is long gone, and Gallagher just blindly lunging in there. That could have done a lot more damage than simply knocking Sally James over. Looked like there was a grab of the shirt there from Harrison, and the referee spotted it. Free kick given. Western Sydney Wanderers are going to turn to their bench. Some reinforcements, some fresh legs. Coming on in an unfamiliar situation, a 2-0 lead. Melissa Caceres is back from her hamstring injury, which was suffered in the first Sydney derby of the season back in round 3. Sophie Harding was the other player there getting ready to come on. Chelsea Blissett taking off some ankle tape there and throwing it away. And now Sheridan Gallagher, who scored the first goal of the game, does have that yellow card to her name, so maybe not a surprise that she'll be taken off here. Sophie Harding comes on. And the other goal scorer looks like she'll be coming off here, Liv Price. Very wisely taking as much time as possible. And now gets a jog up down to the touchline. So Price, after a superb strike to make it 2-0, comes off, and Caceres makes her return after some 5 weeks out with a hamstring injury. Good to see her back, given that until last Monday, she'd scored the only 2 goals of Western Sydney's season in the 4-2 loss to the Newcastle Jets. If they lose here, it'll leave Sydney FC top of the league, heading into their match on Wednesday against Western United, and it would be first versus second. Incredible week of A-League women's action coming up. Steinmetz playing it through to Bolden. Pinpoint pass. Serena Bolden, a question to the finish. Hits the crossbar. The debut has had everything but a goal, and Serena Bolden is foiled by the width of the crossbar. And that should have been 3 points. Wanderers in dreamland. Thanks and success. Instead, it's an agonising miss. Ross Backen was labouring to get there, You got to give some credit to Sally James coming out of her line, forcing Bolden maybe to go a little bit higher than she might have liked. And it thwacked back off the woodwork. Cat Smith straight on to the next phase of play. Here's another look. Steinmetz. What a pinpoint ball, splitting the defence open. And was there a touch from the keeper? You'd have to be really eagle-eyed to see that from Sally James, but yeah, maybe credit is in order. Carriage against Steinmetz. Carriage holds the ball up, back to Torpy. Now Policina, Harrison right there on the case. Into the last 5 minutes of regulation now. It's starting to look like Wanderers' day. Harrison, a third goal will do it. Harrison from way out, tried to catch the breeze at the back and did not get the elevation to trouble Sally James. Dario Vidizic. Is there anything left to even say at this point, or is it just a case of hoping? Whistle goes in midfield. Wanderers free kick. Here's another look at that attempt from Harrison from distance. Just never really got underneath it quite enough. Bolden defending from the front. Blocking Checker. Torpy. Long hopeful ball. Wilkinson grabbed and grappled. Henry flicking it towards Bowen, but Matos, who's been impassable down at left back today, is able to guard that corner once again. Carriage swinging it in, and almost an own goal. Hunt was able to take the sting out of the cross. It's still there for City on the turn. Grosso with an attempt that goes wide, and that should just about do it. Western Sydney Wanderers, this is going to be one of the best wins for this club. They've only ever made finals once in A-League women's history. They have never won a final. They have relied on the home and away season to give them their biggest highlights, and this might be one of the biggest yet. Cat Smith gets a first win in charge at Wonderland, and Western Sydney Wanderers come up with the biggest upset of the season to date. And truth be told, if you watched the full 90, you wouldn't think it was an upset. They have outplayed Melbourne City today, and those celebrations are well deserved. This could kickstart their season. Melbourne City, they will be wondering what hit them today. Goals to Sheridan Gallagher and Olivia Price with the difference. Serena Bolden was outstanding on her A-League women's debut. And this Wanderers team looked like a totally different proposition in the space of 90 minutes, which ended Western Sydney Wanderers 2, Melbourne City 0.